coming through.
Here I come! Eat this!
I'll blind you with a
Here I come!
elusive
Sword
deity.
Rain Alpha!
Eagle Ray.
Lightning orb!
Double
Raging
Demon
Cascade!
Fang! Strike!
Flame of Fire! Glacial Spear!
Will escape! Sword Rain Alpha! Double Demon!
Anything in armor is all mine.
Raging Star!
In a bind, armor won't save you.
I'm not done! Dragon Form!
Penumbra.
Here I
Eating
come!
pile driver.
This one's all mine! Burn!
I'll blind you with the dust.
Here I come!
Shine, radiant light.
Raining
Force
Blast!
of regeneration.
You're mine!
Regenerate.
Will escape!
Far enough!
Dragon Stuff!
Glacial Spear!
Resonate with the earth.
Will escape!
I never miss! Arch Shield!
Raining Blast!
Here, let me help!
Down the ground.
Take this!
Everlasting darkness. Negative
Here!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Resonate with the earth.
I have no limits! Here I come! Sword Rain Alpha! Explosive Rain! Strike! Sword Pistol! Ignite! I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
Searing Flame! Raging Star! Where was that came from? Flame of Fury!
Eagle Ray.
You're mine! Try harder!
Glacial
No, you
Spear!
can't!
Here's evil! Ready to go!
Dragon Swarm!
Shine. Radiant can't get out of this.
Tempest Draw! Celestial Iron Circle!
I'm great. Reflect.
You're mine! Dazzle! You're mine!
Blade.
Okay, here I go! Mirage!
Dance on the wind.
Be still!
On your
Rising Phoenix!
Annihilation!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Now!
Darling! In an instant! Impact Block! We work well together.
like a finely timed
Sword
roll.
Rain Alpha!
I never miss!
Dragon Swarm!
Don't mind if I do!
Burn!
Resonate with the earth.
Dragon Swarm!
Cascade!
Sword Rain Alpha! Double Demon Fang!
I'm ready.
Darling! In an instant! Impact Block!
Haha! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Dispose of the trash.
I'm not done!
Annihilation! Raging Storm! Puddle!
Dragon Swarm! Come one, come all! It's over! I'll smash you!
Fury! Burning Strike!
Dazzle! Mirage!
Steel Force!
I'm not done! Sword Rain Alpha!
You're really strong, Alvin!
I'm just trying to do the best I can.
Still, it's reassuring to have you around. As impressive as always. In here!
Here I hope that was complete.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
Light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis! I've used a bit too much healing.
Like
Shine.
this should be easy.
Radiant light.
You're mine!
In a bind?
Dragon Swarm!
Supernova! Thanks for the healing. Watch yourself, okay? Yeah. You feel I never miss.
Take this!
Rotating pile driver. Take this!
Dragon
I'm ready.
Swarm!
Demons descend! Flashing bang!
Not a chance! Strike!
Searing flame! Reload!
The flame inside me yearns to be let
Drinking
free!
orb! Confiscated! Do it!
Swordlet!
Lock!
Demons descend! Flashing bang!
Looks like it could be worth something.
Ah, guess I misread the landing.
Let's see what you've got.
You're mine!
Dance in the wind!
Strike!
Feel retrograde! Let's get one!
Take this! Not today!
You have!
You're mine! You escape! Dragon Swarm! Swordling Alpha!
Down on the ground.
Here I come!
There you go! Don't let up!
You're mine!
Prepare to be steel, though fleet of foot.
Take this!
Actually, perhaps sound is more appropriate.
Less talking, more doing!
Attack time!
Dance in the wind! Feel! And
You're
run!
mine! Swordling Alpha!
Illuminate!
Might with blackened.
No escape!
Here's the flame of fury! Let them fly! Where are you going?
The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Strike!
Lightning!
Everlasting darkness.
Lightning!
Strike!
Searing
Swordling
flame!
Alpha!
Ritual time!
Lightning
Radiant
Strike! Strike!
Searing
Luna Rondo!
Will this help? Raging cascade!
Here I go!
Everlasting
I'm
darkness.
not done!
You require a
Dragon Swarm!
What would I do without you?
Stalagmite.
Let's
You
go!
picked the wrong fight!
Lightning
Dragon
attack!
Swarm!
Thunderblade!
Swordling Alpha!
Illuminate!
Take this!
Dragon Swarm!
Holy glimmer!
Swordling Alpha!
Searing flame! Reload!
Ready and rare.
Water!
Down on the
Here
ground.
No escape!
Rotating pile driver.
Begin!
Here I come!
Swarm! Glacial spear!
Here I come!
Holy
Here I
reload!
come! No escape! Swordling Alpha!
Bloody howling.
Dragon Swarm!
Raging storm! Radiant pierce!
You're mine! Swordling Alpha!
Let the marksman handle this! Celestial
Benediction.
Radiant pierce!
Here I come!
This one's mine!
Is that a healing arc?
Neon!
It is.
Astral energy! Full throttle! Go!
Everyone's still in one piece?
Get lost!
The flame inside me yearns to be let
Radiant
free!
pierce! Bloody You got company! Radiant pierce!
Negative gate.
Mega ray! Annihilation! Mega
Anything
ray!
in armor is all mine.
By the power of water!
We got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
Hurrah! Sword all yours! Dragon Swarm!
Illuminate
Take
the
this!
radiant magic attack
In a
into the
bind?
fray.
Ah!
Holy Mega ray!
Be still! You're mine! I'm not done!
Armor won't save you.
And searing flame! Reload
Swordling
now!
Alpha!
Light burst forth.
Radiant citizen! You don't mess around!
Take this!
Certainly not.
Luna Rondo! Mirage! Be still! It's over!
Glacial
Take this!
I'll face you.
No escape!
Gale force!
Catapult!
Reflamer!
Dragon Swarm! Catapult! I'm not done! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Now!
Shield!
Radiant! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes. The heavens must be smiling.
Guess I misread the landing. Right,
one's
here goes!
mine.
Take this! I'm not done!
Far enough! I never miss!
Dragon Swarm! Sword Rain Alpha!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Flying
Freak! Why can't they just sit still?
Sion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Hey, when did it
I'm ready!
Sion! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go! A flawless victory!
Here I come!
Naturally!
You're mine!
Hitting pile driver!
This one's all mine! You're mine! Strike! Dragon Swarm!
Hydration!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Do it!
Here I come!
Waterfall!
I'm not done!
Water, hear my call!
Begin!
Elusive
Deity!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Eagle Ray!
Burning strike!
This could be useful. Right,
one's
here
mine.
goes! You're mine! Not today!
Annihilate! Where are you going?
Dragon Swarm!
Anything in armor is all mine! Can't get out of this! I'm ready!
Frozen!
Hammer!
Gale Force!
Dragon Swarm! Sword
Resonate
Rain
with... I'm
Alpha!
ready!
River!
Astral energy!
Say no more! That astral energy was incredible!
I gave it everything I had.
It looks like that beam of light has stopped.
Then is it safe to say we've avoided oblivion for the time being?
I can still sense a faint glimmer of energy, though. It hasn't completely dispersed.
You can tell? Rinwell, your senses seem a lot sharper than before, don't they?
And you said you heard that voice, right?
I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I don't feel bad, though.
If trace amounts, however small, do remain, then it leaves us no choice. We must destroy the entire structure.
What do you suggest? We bring it down piece by piece?
Once that's done, what do we do then?
We go to Lenegis. Even if we could destroy the whole wedge like he suggested, it'd only buy us time. The fact they sent this thing down tells me they're not giving up this planet without a fight.
There's also the matter of the Renis Alma. Its circumstances still have yet to be truly resolved.
But how do we even get to Lenegis?
What if we hotwire one of their starships? There's gotta be one on the planet somewhere, right?
Starships are only seen on Dana at the start and end of the Crown Contest. Otherwise, they remain on Lenegis. Believe it or not, we Renans down here aren't quite as free to come and go as one might think.
Great. Well, I'm out of ideas then. We definitely don't have the tech to build a starship. And even if we found a Renin who'd help, who knows how long that'd take.
Yeah. Waiting for a starship to come down from Lenegis would probably be quicker than that.
Wait! Alphen, when you came down from Lenegis, it had to have been in a starship of your own, right?
Right. Oh, of course.
You can't be serious. That was 300 years ago. There's no way it's still gonna work.
But Alphen didn't wake up until a few years ago. That means it had to have still been functioning that whole time to keep his body preserved.
Indeed. You wouldn't happen to remember where you landed, would you?
My memories around where I parked are still a little hazy, but I do know that I woke up in Calaglia, so chances are it's still in the area. At least it's a place to start. Luckily, that realm's my old stomping ground, so I should be able to get us some help finding her.
This is it.
Yeah, as long as Lenegis stands there, there's no avoiding it.
So what's this help in Calaglia you're planning to enlist?
My buddy Nath. If anyone there knows something, I figure it's him. But first, we need to catch a boat and get back to the mainland. Our first port of call is Ulzebek.
Back where you first started out.
Yeah, along with my dad.
You okay? You don't look so good.
I think I'm just a little seasick, that's all.
Liar.
Huh?
You heard me. You've never been good at hiding your emotions, Xion.
Excuse me? Just what do you... No. You're right. I'm sorry.
Is it about Alphen?
No. Not just him.
Something you can't talk about?
Rinwell, I'm not like the rest of you.
Of course you are! No, I'm serious. Back when we first met, I think maybe then I did think we were different. But now I know that isn't true. You and I are the same, Xion. We're alike in more ways than you know. If any of us is different, it's me. I'm a Danon who can use magic. I may be the last. My family and I have been living in hiding as long as I can remember.
Everyone has their own pain that can be hard for other people to understand. I saw the two of you talking and thought you could use a third wheel. So, here I am. Sorry.
If anyone's the odd one out here, it's me. Believe me, you don't want to listen to my problems.
Want me to go?
I didn't say that.
I get that you must have a lot circling around that head of yours. And that's okay. Whatever's worrying you right now, you're allowed to worry about it. And you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I know I'm not a Renin like you, or a mage like Rinwell. I'm not a sovereign, maiden, or lord. I'm just a Danon who used to be a slave. But regardless of all that, I'm here for you, Xion.
That goes for me too. We all want to be there for you. Me and Hootle and even the boys. I promise. I mean, that is what friends are supposed to do, right?
I said this to Alphen, and now I'll say it to you. You're not alone in this.
Thank you. Rinwell. Kisara.
And right on cue, I think I should make my way back and lie down for a bit. My battle with this ship continues.
Yeah, I better head back too. We wouldn't want the guys thinking they're in charge. Can you imagine Law at the helm? Who knows what kind of trouble we'd get into?
Still, if that's true, then it's all the more reason I have to do this.
I think it's safe to rest here now.
Always good to be back in familiar territory. Have you guys checked your equipment lately? Ah, Calaglia. Feels like it's been ages.
And wasn't Zephyr with us too?
Dad,
Hey,
Oh, just one thing after another, and it all falls on my head to...
Hey, Nath.
What? Can't you see I'm... Alphen?
Looks like you have your hands full.
As much as ever. As if I wasn't busy enough putting down the last remnants of Renin rule, I'm up to my ears in Danan disputes. And then, to top it all off, that thing had to come crashing down from out of the sky.
Pretty sure we've heard this somewhere before.
But enough about my problems. What can I help you with?
Yeah, we're looking for an old Renin starship. You wouldn't happen to know any around these parts, would you?
A starship? What do you need one of those for?
To get to Lenegis.
Lenegis? Are you out of your damn mind?
Believe it or not, it wouldn't be the craziest thing we've done recently.
Oh, I believe it. Well, either way, I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about a starship.
Then do you have any historical records by chance?
Sure, we've got stacks of old records.
Mind if we take a look at them?
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Nath.
I read through all of the records, but I only found a single line that might point to what we're looking for. It mentions a rock that shot across the sky and landed past the mountains. The event was recorded just before the first Renin invasion.
And you think that might be the starship?
I don't know. There was nothing else in the records that came even close. It looked like it was someplace called Berg, but maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Berg?
That ring any bells for you?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest volcanoes in Calaglia. I was just there recently, investigating a report of a meteor someone saw.
Another meteor in the same area? Really?
I wonder if it could have been one of those lights that shot out of the wedge.
All the more reason to check it out. Can you tell us how to get there?
The old Zion mine is up that way. One of the veins we abandoned connects to the volcano. Go ahead and use that. But you should be careful.
Huh?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the meteor. There's a giant Zoogle running riot in there. Never seen anything like it.
A Zoogle, huh?
Well, I turned back as soon as I caught sight of the thing, so I can't tell you much more. Just be real careful if you head out that way. All right.
I guess...
Right.
I didn't like the sound of that monster Nath was talking about one bit.
Well, we have to press on. We're going through Zion Mine to Berg Volcano. Let's move.
All right, something is definitely up with Shion.
Yeah, something big by the looks of it. I've never seen her so serious.
So, do you think we should say something to Alphen then?
I was wondering the same thing myself, but then it occurred to me. Whatever this thing on her mind is, it's probably the last thing in the world she wants people to know about. If she's trying this hard to keep it secret, then it's not really our place to go telling people before she's ready.
Yeah.
I can't tell them. There's just no way I could, right? What am I supposed to do? Everyone around here looks so much happier than they used to.
I'll say, it feels like an entirely different place. I suppose it's had time to adjust to its newfound freedom.
Zephyr would have been so happy to see this.
Yeah, he really would have. Especially if he knew Law was... Law? Something bothering you, Law?
Nah, I'll be fine. It's just, you know.
It still weighs on you, doesn't it? Running away back then.
I abandoned my home. Then when I finally come back, it's been liberated. What's important is that it's free. I get that, I do. I just... I should have been here.
Everything okay with Hootle, Rinwell? He seems kinda out of spirits.
It must be the heat getting to him. We don't get these kind of temperatures back in Cislodia.
Galaglians born and raised here struggle with it too, so it's no surprise.
Aha! So that's why his plumage is so white. He was born in a winter wonderland.
Actually, Dan and owls absorb the astral energy of whatever land they're raised in. Where they're born doesn't affect their appearance at all. But that's not why he's white. The real reason is that he's still just a baby. Whew!
You mean their plumage changes color depending on where they grow up? Weird.
And with all this traveling we've been doing, it wouldn't surprise me if his wings ended up looking like a colorful painting.
I think he suits his snowy complexion. It'll feel strange to see him change.
How awesome would it be if his head and wings were different colors? And his stomach and sides, like a map of our travels! Ow, lay off, will ya? So much for the heat making him docile!
You've only yourself to blame for that one. Hootle takes pride in his appearance, you know.
Fascinating. An appreciation of aesthetic beauty in an owlet so young.
Dohalim, I think you've drawn his attention.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch? getting pretty hungry.
Want to sit down and fix something?
Yep, the sooner the better.
It's quite hot here. The climate feels different from Menancia's.
It's gotten much cooler since leaving town, though.
Does that mean eyes were burning holes in us?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
So we're back in the Zion Mine tunnels. Who would have thought we'd be going through this place again? This is where you and I first fought together.
And also the first time we touched, as I recall.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
So this path is supposed to take us out to Berg Volcano?
We're not gonna see any lava burst out in front of us or anything, are we?
Don't get so paranoid you let a rock fall on your head, Law. Ugh, so hot.
Well, yeah. We've reached the inner portion of Berg Volcano.
We need to find that starship. And fast!
Let's see what you've got.
No escape!
Don't mind if I do!
I'm not done!
Tempest?
Rotating pile
Here
drive.
it is! It's a tool of the arts!
Dragon Swarm! Sword Rain Alpha!
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
No escape!
Air thrust! Freeze laser! Light action!
Ready
To the
fly!
wind!
No escape!
More for the sun!
On your knees. Take this! Sword Rain Alpha! I'm ready! Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I know fine weapon material when I see it.
Little help!
You're mine! Strike! time! Dragon Swarm!
Within the sky is mine! You have to aim for the bright area on their
Come
back!
one, come all! Front cross!
Go for the weak point!
Can't get out of this!
Split it open!
Be my guest!
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
Don't mind if I do!
You're mine!
Do it! Astral energy!
Say no more! Shot!
Well
My
done!
turn! I'm not done! Dragon Swarm! Eat this!
Here's a healing arc!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Up and
Sword Rain
at
Alpha! Double Demon Fang!
I'm
ready!
Kisara! Frozen!
Hammer!
Now! Radiant Light!
Complete the enemy's arc to me!
No complaint here!
Take this! Sword Rain Alpha! Be still!
I'm ready!
Sion! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go!
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Design of this equipment is really interesting.
You must really like it, Alphen.
Huh. You can make plants grow instantly? What if we use this for fruits and vegetables?
I'd rather not be our party's fertilizer, thank you very much. Coming through!
Here I come! Cut!
Radiant
I'll face you!
Denied!
Dragon!
Now you see what I can do! I'm doing a shot!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Ready? This one's mine!
We got
Don't mind
flyers!
if I do! I've got
I'm
this.
ready.
Let him lightly handle it!
In an instant! Impact Block!
Well, looky here! My face is starting to sting. And my throat feels super parched.
Here, have some water. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Thanks.
You want some too, Xion? Oh, wait. I bet you're hungry more than anything, aren't you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Get lost!
Take this! Burn! Prepare to be sealed! Here I come!
Here's a healing
Take
arc.
this!
Are those rock tanks wind?
Don't get in my way!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Go for the weak point!
Truck!
No armor can stop me!
Remind me to stay on your good side.
Dragon Swarm!
Soaring ground!
I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Great! carve through armor! Sword Blade Alpha!
Hear me! Flame of Fury! Burning! You're trying to make his armor! And the flashing parts their weak point!
The enemy wields art too.
We'll see about that. Glad you have your uses.
This one keeps charging!
I'll show you how useful I can be!
Ignite! Regenerate! You're mine!
Allow me to help you.
Is that a healing art?
It is. I can't ignore your pain. I'll try to be more careful.
Take this!
You can't get out of this!
Will this help?
Try harder! Not a chance! Penumbra!
Healing circle!
Now you see what I can do!
Rotating pile driver!
Eagle Ray! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I shall ensure you survive this.
No escape! Now I can let this one's all mine! Sword Rain
Your
Alpha!
dreams!
Hat! Strike!
Raging Cascade!
Sword Rain Alpha! Try harder! Now! Lunar Rumble! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Resonate
Not
with the
yet!
earth.
I'm not done! Ha! Burn! Dragon Form!
Now!
River!
Astral Energy!
Say no more! I still got a ways to go. Here goes! Here I come! No escape!
Can you take it?
Dragon Form!
Can you take it?
Dragon Form!
If it curls up, it's time to get out of the way!
My turn!
You got company!
Strike! Aim for their weak spot!
Take this!
Dragon Form!
Illuminate!
Try my turn! Strike!
No further!
Sword Rain Alpha!
I can carve through armor!
I'll stop its charge! Thanks, Kisara!
Dragon Form! Try harder!
I'll be saving this one!
I'm not done! Sword Rain Alpha! This one's all mine! Sword Rain Alpha! Dragon Swarm!
I'll face you!
Radiant Light!
You picked the wrong fight!
Stop! Radiant Light! Here!
Sword Rain
Shattering
Pieces!
Attack! Do it! Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Don't get complacent.
It's crazy to see rocks melt before our eyes.
Watch where you're going, everyone. If you fall, there will be nothing left of you.
Exactly. So don't try anything funny. Especially you, Law. No pushing anyone, not even as a joke.
I'm not a little kid!
That enemy looks strong. I bet it'll be worth our while to fight it.
I didn't know you had that sort of trick up your sleeve, Dohalim. I would have figured rocks and plants would be too different for you to handle both.
Not necessarily. Both of them contain Earth astral energy. Luckily for me, this area is rich not only in fire energy, but Earth as well.
What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. Let's go! This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone!
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared!
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogles? Take care of them while keeping an eye on it!
It's over! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Freeze, Lancer!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Searing flame! Reload! Illuminate
Take
the
this!
dark!
I'm not
Come
done!
forth, holy glimmer!
Take this!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Denied!
There you go!
Dragon
Don't
Ball!
let up!
Shattering the pieces!
Astral energy!
Resonate with
Lightning attack!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Illuminate the dark!
Armor won't save you!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Flame! Reload!
Dragon Swarm!
Captivity!
Here I come!
By the power of water! I'm all raging
Take it! Here I come! Sword Rain Alpha! Dragon Swarm! Be still! Strike! Take this! I'm not done!
Ready and raring!
I can handle it!
Where are you going?
Strike! Sword Rain Alpha! Dragon Swarm!
The fluidity of your movement is simply incredible.
Here, let me help.
Thanks, Trio.
Take
Be
this!
careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll do better.
Here I go. And again.
Down on the ground!
Dragon
Armor won't save you! Hitting pile driver!
Sword Rain Alpha!
I'm all
Lightning Thrust!
Amazing.
You're mine! I'm not done!
Radiant Flash!
Dent on the wind!
Reload!
Take this! Strike! Sword Rain Alpha! Sword Rain Alpha!
Looks like you've got this for Radiant. Here!
You're mine!
I'm all close up! Annihilation!
I can carve through armor!
Annihilation!
Here I come! Sword Rain Alpha!
Radiant
This one's
Flash!
all mine!
Can you take it? In the wind!
You picked the wrong fight! Dragon Swarm! Take this!
Can't get out of this!
A thrilling performance.
Double Demon Fang!
Hear my call! If it's in the sky,
No
it's
escape!
mine!
Penumbra!
Blazer Spear!
Here
Here's
I
evil!
come!
Benediction light.
I'm not done!
Freeze Lancer!
Dragon Swarm! Sword Rain Alpha! You're mine!
Shattering the pieces! Attack time! Will this help?
You're finished!
Where are you going?
Dragon Swarm!
Now!
Ringwell! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around!
Not a chance!
Certainly
I'm not
not.
done! Sword Rain Alpha!
I can carve through armor!
Aqua Insert!
I'm in your debt.
Dragon Swarm!
Soaring blast! Eagle
Sword
Ray!
Rain Alpha! You're finished! You picked the wrong fight! Sword Rain Alpha! Dragon Swarm!
Take this!
Got it!
No escape!
Now's
I'm
our
ready!
chance!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
Take this!
Here come more!
We'll just have to keep fighting.
Try harder!
The enemy feels us too.
We'll soon see about that!
I'm not done! Luna Rondo!
Now you see what I can do!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Here!
Come
Now!
one, come all!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
This one's all mine! Sword Rain Alpha! Blow away!
Confiscated!
It's over! Catapult! Sword Rain Alpha! Not today! Naraka!
Pain.
Do it!
Ringwell! Light burst forth!
Radiant Denison! Here's a healing
Prepare
arc!
to be sealed!
This one's mine!
Okay.
Elusive deity!
You're mine!
Team
Sword
Sword
Rain Alpha!
I'm out of ammo! Watch and weep! Close in!
Another incantation.
Ruin!
It is. I can't ignore this game. I'll try to be more careful.
Red! They're all coming after me!
I'm coming, Ringwell!
I'm not scared. I'm totally fine.
Can't get out of this!
Take this!
Holy land!
Dragon Swarm!
Shine! Radiant light!
Not
Force
as
of
I want.
regeneration!
Lunar Rondo!
Illuminate the dark!
I'm not done!
Holy glitter!
Arts are being interrupted!
Glacial sphere.
Let us
Here's
take
the
it.
Not today!
Benediction light!
Take this! Now I can let loose!
You fight better at a distance. The further away, the better. You and I both. Do it! Kisara! Frozen!
Hammer!
Reinforcements incoming! Not a problem! Illuminate the dark! Here goes!
Crush! Sword Rain Alpha!
I may have bit off more than I could chew.
Take this!
This can't be happening!
You'll pay for that!
In a bind?
It's go time! Take this!
I can't lose!
Instinct shot!
I'm not in your dreams! Healing circle!
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
Sword Rain Alpha!
I'm all stopped up! Illuminate the dark! Hot force! Holy glitter!
I can carve through armor!
I'll heal you all!
I'm ready!
Dragon Swarm!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Denison! Here, let me help!
You're mine! Sword Rain
Radiant
Alpha!
Storm! Celestial Hammer!
Demon Blade! You're mine!
Here, let me help!
Hold nothing back! You're mine!
First aid!
Dragon Swarm! I'm not done!
Engulfed you!
Not in your dreams!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Lightning orb!
Dragon Swarm!
You require a hand.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Can't get out of this!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Benediction light.
Lightning
Here I
down!
come! You picked the wrong fight!
Thanks for the healing. Watch yourself, okay? Yeah,
should do it.
you too. This one's mine. Hold on to your heart.
Thanks!
Here I come.
Elusive deity!
You're
Water! Force of regeneration!
Mega ray.
Stay away from my friend! Try harder!
My turn! Radiant light! Source of regeneration!
All right.
Regenerate.
It's showtime.
Don't
Lightning
suffer in
down.
silence.
Don't mind if I do.
Don't suffer in
Sword Rain
silence.
Alpha! Eat this! Dragon Swarm!
I'm ready.
Astral energy.
Say no more! Now! You're mine! Sword
Can't
Rain
get out
Alpha!
of this!
Dragon
Raging
Swarm!
storm. Whoa,
Move,
hey,
escape.
one at a time.
Crush!
Ice
It's over!
Razor cyclone.
Let us take
Tunnel.
this!
Photon flash.
Wide open
it!
It won't escape me!
Flame inside! Ignite! Dragon Sword!
I'm ready!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Sword Rain Alpha! I'm ready! In an instant! Impact Block!
It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
Everyone all right?
We won't surrender. We won't retreat. Not yet.
Whatever you... Just please stay safe.
How are we supposed to take on something so big?
I'll handle it. Just watch and learn. That's enough! Go back down!
Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
So I still had room to grow.
What do you know? Another big fire monster with nothing better to do than get in our way!
I wonder where the rest of those lights ended up landing. It looked like they were pretty scattered.
Well, whatever they're after, let's just hope none of them are anywhere near a city. An ambush on civilians is the last thing we need.
Well, no rest for the wicked, right? Though with 1 down and 3 to go, it sounds like our headache is just beginning.
I thought you liked the opportunity to flex your muscles.
Against those things? It's not like I have a death wish. Besides, we've already got our hands full saving the world. Dying stupidly won't be much help to the cause.
Yeah, I guess I can't argue with that logic. Sorry.
Hey, is that it over there?
I always love the sound of hammers banging away.
Alvin?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alvin.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave. We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renin. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renin homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Shion can finally get rid of her thorns. Shion?
Huh? Yeah.
Where? Shion? Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off on her own? She's not over there. Where did she run off to? Shion. Shion!
It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Volron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time. The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Shion. But tell me how... How is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Shion, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to...
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens...
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renaissance on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's... too much. It's way too much.
When this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Alvin?
Only living for the sake of dying. is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Alvin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen! We can fight this! We'll fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys... You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, and a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
The end of the world. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I believe Shion is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking ahead of us. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the world. That those really are the stakes we face.
No, I understand. Even Shion doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring it all about.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands, so many clues, yet the complete picture eludes us.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Yeah, I remember. It was the will of Dana's astral energy come to life. Or that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sentient. Let's return to when we found Shion in Pelagian. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renin would normally have inside them.
So you think those thorns might be alive too? That their will is what keeps her from dying? But why would they want to destroy the entire world?
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke that her maiden powers have been able to contain it thus far.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out riddles.
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but seek the truth. Especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best we not dwell on it too much for the time being.
Right.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from those thorns again, didn't you?
Oh, that? That was nothing.
Compared to what Shion's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain, that doesn't mean Shion wants to have to see you get hurt by her thorns, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'll be careful.
Shion doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing in to save her at the last minute.
Yeah, very funny.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on, and you didn't even bat an eye. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her. Just like you did with the rest of us.
I just want for Shion what we all have. The ability to touch someone without the fear of killing them. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special or important for her. I hope she gets what she wants. I have my own dreams, but a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive, isn't a world I want to live in.
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps getting taken from her, and I'm done with it. Can't sleep?
After everything we just heard, how could I?
Fair enough.
Shion's had to deal with so much on her own. Even when we were all laughing and celebrating, she just kept quiet and didn't say anything. I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. That it was because she didn't want to hurt anybody by getting too close. I just figured that that was the type of person she was, you know? But it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die and sacrifice herself for the greater good. But even then, she didn't think she could say anything to us about it.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time. How could I call her a friend and yet be so completely blind to everything she was going through?
I'm sure it made her happy, knowing you were there for her.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, I don't think she could have ever opened up to us like that. You were a good friend to her before, and you'll be an even better one now.
Yeah, I really hope so. I want to be the best I can for her. When you think about it, we were all alone in our own way. But over time, we've all found ways to let each other into our lives. I hope Shion's able to do that one day too. No, I mean, I hope she's able to do that more. Lots and lots more. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts. And forget about our grudges and pain.
Rinwell.
Did you know?
You mean about Shion?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, every once in a while I thought something seemed a little off, but I never could have imagined. It's like a completely different world was spinning around me and I couldn't even see it.
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but I could never quite figure out what it was.
You? But you're the one always looking out for her, aren't you?
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand it all. What I thought was helping and being there for her was actually just driving her into a corner.
At least you figured it out in time, though, right?
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right. We brought her back from the edge, and we're going to stop those thorns from taking her, no matter what.
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't handle. Shion, the world, we can save everyone. And I mean it when I say we, Alphen.
I know. No lone wolfing it.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say. Do you think he'd pat me on the back or tell me off?
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've already made up your own mind about what you want.
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living have enough problems to deal with, don't we? We'll need all our strength to save Shion. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point, but I guess I'll think it over more then. That okay?
Yeah, I think it is. Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadime, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two, and before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renins. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
But then I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Danans and Renans, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you until the very end.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that! You're going to jinx us!
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but, well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion?
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life, for as long as I can remember. They called it treatment, but in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched, helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse, but then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live, but why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Shion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this. Together.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though. You too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, It is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
Hey, Alphen, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renin technology. It got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. That should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that'd mean you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence, and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Danans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to being a Danan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this red woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That red woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them.
There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
And you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renins. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
What in the world?
This being Renin territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself, okay, Doe?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just... unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. You don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration, to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
Your lordship! Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time. Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renin, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth, that Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, That one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it! I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renin homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renin society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Cannabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renins in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Yes.
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect. This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed. The effect...
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay. Ah!
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Gannett Harros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current Sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfricht Milgras, the former Lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfricht whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming Sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the Sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, Sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, It didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was—
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still—
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
What's this thing?
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renin sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renin oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Oh! I am Lord Dohalim of Elder Menachia. I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
It's almost too strong.
Be my guest. Strike! Slower dance! Here I come! Twilight Alpha! Flaming thrust! Rondo! Out of the way! You're mine!
We'll bring you down.
Damn it!
Can't get out of this!
You're finished! It's on! Swallow dance! Sword Ring Alpha!
The enemy wields our truth.
You'll soon see about that.
Sword Ring Alpha! Take that! Do it! I'll finish you here and now! Rolling strike!
Here's a healing arch. Confiscated.
Sword Ring Alpha! Dragon Swarm!
Radiant up here.
Dragon Shell! Here I come!
Lightning.
We're not finished!
How was that, kid?
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Do it! Xion, get toasty!
Burn strike!
Dance in the
My
wind!
turn!
Radiant fire!
It's time!
Glacial
Dragon
Fire!
Swarm!
Here's the evil!
Luna Rondo! Mirage! Take this!
Roll now!
Sword Rain Alpha! Talon Hurricane! Fire support! Take this! I'm not done! Dragon Swarm!
Light Burst Force!
Radiant Genesis!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
Can't get out of this! I'm on it!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Do it! Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Glacial Spear!
You're mine! Sword Rain Alpha!
Holy Glimmer! Holy Land! Here's a healing arm!
Take this! I owe you one! Inferno Punch!
Now or never.
Stop! First strike! Here I come!
Where are you going?
Burn! Sword Rain Alpha! Double Demon Fang! Dragon Swarm!
Do it!
Remove!
Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
Yourselves. This one's tough!
Armor won't save you!
Dust! Strike! Dragon!
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
Let free! Crumble! Sword Rain Alpha! Talon Hurricane! Take this! I owe you one! Dragon Swarm! Sword Rain Alpha! Luna Rondo!
Go!
Sword Rain Alpha! Roll now! Super Hollow Dance! Talon Sword! Burn! Talon Sword Rain Alpha!
Air Thrust!
Inferno Punch!
Light Astral Energy!
I'll smash you! Dragon Swarm!
Denied!
It's time!
It was nice.
In here!
Here I come! Dragon Swarm! Be still! Luna Rondo!
Holy Land! I can do this all
Mirage!
day!
I owe you one!
I never miss!
I'm not done!
Raging Storm!
Dragon Swarm! Not today! Dragon
Now
Swarm!
I'm in the groove. You shouldn't have messed with me. Anything in armor is all mine.
Dragon Swarm! Swallow Dance!
Armor won't
Charge
save
like
you.
that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
I'm on it! Here I come!
Lightning Condensed! Red! Aqueous Surge! Lightning!
You're mine!
Searing Flame! Reload!
Here I come! Good things come to an end.
Here, let me help. First aid!
I owe you one.
Dance in the wind!
In a bind? You're mine!
Glacial Spear!
Sword Alpha!
Illuminate the dark!
You're mine!
Holy Land!
Here I come! Sword Rain Alpha!
Thanks so much!
Try harder! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Phoenix Flame!
Come on!
Dragon
Form! Armor won't save you! Sword Rain Alpha! Rain Demon All finish you here and now!
Dance in the wind! In here! Water! Hear my call! More for the stockpile! Spread!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Fury!
Take this! I'm not done!
Waterfall!
Sword!
Freeze Lancer!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll bring you down!
First strike! Come and get it! Dragon Form! Sword Rain out!
Illuminate the dark!
Come and get it! I'm just getting started! Burn in hell!
Shattering
Pieces! Sword Rain Alpha!
Freeze Lancer!
Armor won't save you!
Tempest Whirl!
Dragon Form!
Now!
River!
Astral Energy!
Say no more.
There's always room for improvement.
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out. Bring them down! Sword Rain Alpha!
I can't let the hatred consume me!
Locked and loaded! Dragon Form!
Glacial Spear!
An astral voice?
That's my cue!
Shut him down! Dragon Dot! It's on! Mirage! I'm not done! Not today! Dragon Form! Sword Rain Alpha!
Now! Astral Energy! Full throttle! Where are you going?
Lightning Thrust! Mirage!
I'll be
Shattering pieces!
Attack time!
Sword Rain Alpha! Finish you here and now! Dragon Form! We're not finished!
Eagle Fire! Do it!
Demons Descend! Flashing Fang! Take this!
Raging
Not
Storm!
again! Sword Rain Alpha!
Purge Malevolence!
Not today!
These
fists have got your name on them! Sword Rain Alpha!
Get toasty!
Burn Strike!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Go no further!
You got spirit!
Lightning Orb! Let me help! More with that first aid!
I owe you one.
They really don't give up, do they?
I'm not done!
Dance in the wind!
Far through armor!
Another
Sword Rain Alpha! Sword Rain Alpha!
Demons Descend!
Flashing Fang! Not a chance! Eat this! Dragon Form! Sword Rain Alpha! Prepare to be sealed! You're mine! No further! Dragon Form! What's this? No escape! Burn it down!
Astral Energy!
Say no more.
Not a chance! Lunar Logos! Mirage! You're mine! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
I'm ready for the next battle.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Go no further!
Take this!
This one's mine! Here goes!
Super Tornado Alpha!
Ready!
Eagle
I'll
Fly!
heal you all!
Time to cross blade! All ready and rare!
Raging
Here I
Storm!
come! Smash you!
Healing Circle!
Sword Rain Alpha! Dragon Shell!
Here I go!
Inferno Punch!
I'll finish you
here
take
now!
I don't even know the word defeat.
No escape!
Glacial Spear!
Try harder! My turn! Sword Rain Alpha! This one's all mine! Easter!
I'll stop its charge! Thanks, Kisara!
You're mine! No escape! It's over!
Water!
Take that! No escape!
No
further! Dragon Swarm!
Healing! Flame of
Sword Rain
Burning!
Here I come! Inferno Punch! Flaming Thrust! Ready and ready!
Now you see what I can do!
Rondo! Stardust! Stardust! Mirage!
It's in the sky! Where are you going?
Dragon Swarm!
Lightning flame!
This one's all mine! I owe you one! Easter!
Holy Land!
Rip and tear! Sword Rain Alpha! Whirlwind Snap!
Into the center!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Take this!
Lightning
Armor won't save you!
You're mine!
Watch this!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Can't get out of this!
Sword Rain Alpha! Dragon Swarm! I owe you one! Sword Rain Alpha!
Illuminate the dark!
Take it! It's over!
Eagle Fly!
This one's all mine! You picked the wrong fight! Sword Rain Alpha! Blow away! Dual Demon Blade!
Razor Cyclone!
Take this!
Celestial Hammer!
You're mine!
Super Radiant
Take
Sword!
this! Sword Rain Alpha!
I'll heal you all!
Here I come!
Now or never.
Here is
See what happened there as you crossed me.
I can
Should've
handle
done
it!
that.
Where are you going?
Mirage!
In here!
Armor won't save you!
Strike!
I'll be safe!
Dragon Swarm!
Flame of Terror! Burning Strike! Glacial
I'm not
Spear!
done!
Here's the
This one's all mine!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
First strike!
I'll tear you apart!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
That was a little close for comfort.
Backing
This
down!
should do it!
Engaging!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Light Astral Electric!
Talon Hurricane!
You won't bow out night!
Dragon
Then you leave me no choice!
Now you
Here! I'll be saving this water!
Damn it!
Stand back. I'll trip it out.
Armor won't save you!
Sword Rain Alpha!
That's
Annihilation!
I'm on fire support!
Take this! Not today!
Inferno punch!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Burning! Illuminate the dark! Here's the Holy Laser!
Take this! No further!
Dragon Swarm! Here I come!
This one I never miss!
Dragon Swarm! Sword Rain Alpha! You're mine! Strike! Sword Rain Alpha! Strike! Sword Rain Dragon Swarm!
Eat this!
You're mine! It's on! Ignite! One more! Now!
Take it down!
You're mine! No escape!
Lunar
Take the
Blast!
blade!
One here!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
No! I'm not done!
Armor won't
won't save you! Sword Alpha!
Kisara! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life! Hey! Can feel my power growing! On! I see one, eh? This one's all mine! Burn that gun at your head! Dragon Form! I'll finish you here and now! Take this! Try hard away! Fire support! I'm not done! Sword Rain Alpha!
Not on my watch! Where are you going?
You're on! You picked the wrong fight!
Glacial Spear! Here's Eagle!
Do it!
Astral Energy! Full throttle!
My turn! Inferno Punch! Dragon Swarm! I'm just getting started! I'll smash you! Thanks! Talon Hurricane! Dragon Swarm! Can't get out of this! Sword Rain Alpha!
Instrument Photon Spear!
Talon Hurricane! You're finished!
Do it!
Demon's Descent! Flashing Fang! Not again! First strike!
Mega Ray!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Do it! Now!
Demon's Descent! Flashing Fang!
Take it! One more!
Come on!
Mega Ray!
I'm not done!
Do it!
Run well! Demon's Descent! Flashing Fang!
Seems about right to me.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the...
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for. Let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you. And I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.